What's up with it, bro? This Dooney, the street priest. Look here, this is a nationwide dance from my hood to your hood called Pull Your Pants Up. Hey! Pull your pants up. Hey! Pull your pants up. Pull your pants up, man. Pull your pants up. Pull your pants up. Hey! Pull your pants up. Pull your pants up, man. Pull your pants up. I'm the street priest. I'm not here to judge. This a letter to the streets talking to my thugs. From your bows and monkey jeans to what you wanna wear. I'm just saying, man, I'm sick of seeing your underwear. I think I speak on behalf of the community. You look suspect, jail is where you soon to be. Behind bars, it's a code for the N-word. The word sagging spelled backwards is the N-word. You walk the streets with your pants way down low. I don't know, looks to me you on the down low. Some of y'all think it's gangster to show you back. On behalf of real men, we ain't feeling that. We don't understand, man, cause it shocks us. Can you make us understand why you show your box up? But if you stand up straight, bet your pants fall. Might as well walk around with your pants off. Pull them up, yeah. Be a real man, stand up. Is that your underwear, man? Pull your pants up. I'm a grown man on my grind trying to shine. How you gon' grind when your mind showing your behind? I think it's rude, but some of y'all think it's cool. Walking around showing your behind to other dudes. It looks retarded, degenerating real hard. Yeah, you're hard, but now it's hard to get a real job. What's up with it, bro? I'm just trying to let you know. Put a belt around your waist before your pants hit the floor. If you 20 and above, and you still sad, man, you grown and you wrong. You should feel bad. Disgrace to your race. Where your pride at? Come on, man, pull up your pants and get your pride back. I'm not saying don't show your swag with your bag of jeans. I'm just saying don't show you with your bag of jeans. Pull them up. What's up with it, bro? Pull them up before your pants hit the floor. Pull them up. What's up with it, bro?
Also at the State House, lawmakers are attempting to pass a bill that would ban saggy pants. It would make it illegal for someone to expose their skin or underwear by wearing their pants below the tops of the hips.
And they say it's called sagging. That's where the pants hang down low, the boxers are pulled up high, and everything's hanging out. You can see it all. They say sagging is just part of what they do, how they dress. And they don't believe a dress code is going to change a thing.
I don't like them. I'd rather wear what I wear. If we get dress codes, I'm still going to sag.
Why are you still going to sag?
Because it's no difference. I sag all my pants.
I actually tell my son every day, your underpants are made to stay under your clothes, not for anybody else to see it.
Pull up your pants or don't come in.
That's why I went ahead and came in. Yes, I went ahead and went in because I commend them for doing that.
It's private property. They have a right to force their rules, and I mean, sagging your pants coming in is ridiculous.
In fact, the sign goes on to say, try to have some decency and respect for others. No one wants to see your underwear.
Pants.
This is generally my policy. I keep it 100. I heard the game. I seen the game. I ran the game. I played the game. I got caught up because of the game. So we ain't gonna play no games. I sympathize for them. And the reason that I sympathize is because a lot of them following trends, a lot of them just don't know where it began. But I say this, and then I digress. Until we pull their minds up, they not gonna pull their pants up. So now going back on my research, sagging started in slavery when they were buck breaking. You know, the bucks, the big slaves, they would break them by sodomizing. And as a result, them wearing their pants, sagging down meant they had been broken.
I challenge any of you to do your homework and your research to find out where it actually originated and how it evolves to right now.
Many men were a radical, a person who just was not conformed to the plantation life would soon be chastised before a community, and he would perhaps be placed upon a tree stump and flogged or whipped or whatever the description was. And then his pants would be taken down, and then the overseer or people who were perhaps in position as an overseer would actually take a turn at this person, and this is called bucking the slave.
And that was a symbol for the other slaves. A lot of people think it started in jail or prison, but it goes back further. So, well, like jail, there was a time that they wouldn't let you have shoestrings or belts because people were getting killed, and they was also committing suicide. But then whenever you had guys who was coming out, some of them kept that trend, but in prison, if you walking around with your ass hanging out, you advertising. And somebody is gonna push up on you.
My mom used to always tell me that sagging came from prison, so I don't even sag like that. So.
We all know that it started in the correctional department, prisons and jails, and it was known that if you're sagging, then you're gay, and you can let me see here. You're gay, and if you're a dude, then you can have a boyfriend.
People attribute sagging to prison life, to whereas it's saying a gentleman was probably in a homosexual relationship or in a relationship with another gentleman, and so after, I guess, the conqueror of the relationship would have the other person actually sagging their pants to let them know that they belong to that person.
It was easy access, for the next guy. And so to see it is something that I just don't understand.
Fashion thing I don't really understand because it started off from prison. And basically it was when you're somebody's woman with the loose pants like that, I'm not really sure anybody wants to emulate that.
You hang your pants down low and you had your underwear on backwards.
Because it sends a message. I'm a formerly incarcerated individual who did 20 years in federal prison. You wear your clothes like that in the feds, you're inviting somebody to you.
We appreciate you for agreeing to do this with us and helping us with this project. We believe that regardless of your circumstance, and regardless where you may find yourself at this moment, that you still have something to offer.
All right, guys, y'all do what y'all have to do because these are students from a local school and their instructors, and they're just going to ask you a few questions. You guys know you volunteered to be here, right? They're going to talk to you a little bit and ask you questions to be honest. All right?
But we want to know your opinion on sagging dress. How do you feel about it? Can we start with you?
I'm not saying stupid. I see most people don't wear a belt to keep their pants below their ass.
I mean, you know what I'm saying, when I was young, I used to sag, you know what I'm saying, but when I grew up and you really think about it, you know what I'm saying, as a man, why would you want to walk around with your behind hanging out your pants, you know what I'm saying? That ain't nothing you want to promote.
Basically on the same keys, if y'all don't know, it started in prison as a logo of basically like promoting yourself. So we took it as being cool, but it really ain't cool. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, as far as growing up and becoming a man, you always want to look proper. So sagging ain't really what it is.
Honestly, I mean, I ain't got time to sit around holding my pants up. Got to work, got kids, got things to do other than chase my pants.
It's pointless to walk around with your pants on the ground and have some self-respect for yourself.
Start advertising what you got back there.
How would you treat somebody in jail if they was to sag?
Oh, you flirting. You flirting. you trying to promote something, you feel me? Like, yeah, that ain't a good look, you know what I'm saying? Especially if you don't go that route, because you might mess around and run into something you don't want, you know what I'm saying?
It's like a promotion, you know what I'm saying?
Advertising.
Yeah, they're advertising. They basically let a person know that they was open for the sexuality of another man. That's basically where it come from.
All right, so if you see somebody walking down the street, like, what's your perception of them? Like, what would you think?
Shit corny, man. It's corny, man. Like, you gotta think, you know what I'm saying? Because you gotta look at the concept. They want to be cool. They want to look like they thugging. You know what I'm saying? But really, if you thugging, you know what I'm saying? You talking about toting that iron, this, that, and the third. You know what I'm saying? You can't hold no pistol with your hands, when your pants hanging down your ass. You know what I'm saying? Somebody run up on you, you might have smoke with somebody. You might got beef with somebody. Especially while you're incarcerated, you don't want to walk around with your pants hanging up. Because if I run up on you, first thing you're going to do is what? You're going to pull your pants up. But if I'm fast and the green light, now I hit you with a 1, 2, 3 combination. You know what I'm saying? Now you sitting there asleep because you had to pull your pants up. You know what I'm saying? It's on different levels. You know what I'm saying? Especially when you're incarcerated. And then you out there in that world, man. Like you want to look presentable, man. You want to look like young men. You know what I'm saying? You don't know, like you never know who you might run into. You know what I'm saying? Somebody might be looking for work or something. You know what I'm saying? Might need help. You might be a good candidate. I said, you got a nice build, you got a nice frame, you know what I'm saying? You was in a hall. You look presentable, so they gonna keep it moving, you know what I'm saying? Whole time you might be a hard, dedicated worker, but they're not gonna sit there and waste time and try to figure it out because appearance is everything, man. Yeah, you wanna keep yourself looking presentable at all times.
Is there any more like additional information that y'all can give us about sagging? Or any wisdom that y'all would like to share with us?
I mean, you gotta grow up, man. You know what I'm saying? Get on your grown man. You know what I'm saying? Have some dignity and some respect about yourself. Like I say, you don't want to walk around flirting, man, because, you know, I'm not against homosexuals. I'm not homophobic. But, like, at the same time, you know, you don't want nobody, you know what I'm saying, who's into that to be into you if that's not what you into. You know what I'm saying? So don't advertise.
So what's the consequences if you sag in here besides that? Are there any consequences? I
mean, yeah, you know, CL might tell you, go ahead and put your pants up. Well, really, this is the consequence for real. Now we got the one piece. This is the consequence.
So, wow, I didn't even know that.
We got the one piece, you know what I'm saying? So, like, they still got the 2 piece, you know? But, yeah, this is the consequence. And you know what I'm saying, go to the whole 15, 10 days, you know what I'm saying, disobeying a direct order because, of course, the officer's going to tell you, you know, pull your pants up.
You can go to the hole for sagging now.
Yeah, the officer tell you to pull your pants up. You don't pull your pants up, you disobeying the direct order.
Being in the uniform, man.
Right. What else?
I mean, you know, like I say, you never know what somebody into. You know, it might be a worse consequence. You know what I'm saying? You might not go home the same. You know, you might even wear your boxers backwards. You know what I'm saying? Had a crack open. You know what I'm saying?
Like, when we heard that in the barbershop, when the dude told us, that's crazy.
You're not in your bunk area, you walking around watching television or whatever, you know, you gotta have your jumpsuit on. If you're in your bunk, you know, you take your jumpsuit off, you know, chill on your bunk.
So is it a certain amount of days you have to do that for a consequence, or is it?
Oh no, this is 24 hours a day unless you're in your bunk. Like this is, you know what I'm saying?
He's exactly right. We used to have orange 2-piece uniforms for every inmate here. And the consequence of not wearing them properly or them getting torn up from wearing them different ways was that I ordered jumpsuits for everybody. We haven't fully replaced them all yet, but for general population, 24 hours a day, every day is a jumpsuit. And as a matter of fact, we're getting new ones now that don't even have buttons. They're just elastic.
My mama always told me don't do nothing you're gonna be ashamed of, man. So you know it ain't right. You know it ain't legit, man. So why do it?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Look, be a leader, not a follower, man. You know what I'm saying? Don't follow no trend. You know what I'm saying? Set the trends for the trendsetters. You know what I'm saying? That's what you do.
Yes, sir.
My name is Willie Williams Stream from Salisbury, North Carolina, man. All you cats out there sagging, man. Quit flirting, man.
Stay presentable for anything. You know, females ain't gonna like that. Females, it ain't even just young females, mothers, you know what I'm saying, daughters, you know what I'm saying? It's just females. Females don't want to see that. You know what I'm saying?
And I think it's a turnoff when you see a guy sagging. It's a turnoff because, for one, you know, you see all the guy's underwear, which you don't want to see, and then for two, it's just a stereotype thing. Like somebody see a guy sagging, you already automatically think, they up to no good, or they don't got nothing going for themselves. So.
I feel like a lot of times, like people that sag, they're usually looking at somebody, they get it from somebody, and it's really not even the kind of person they are. Like you walk around the street and like you be like, oh, this guy's like, he thinks he's like a thug or something, but really he just following what someone else does.
Why you want to walk around with your butt hanging out? I'm asking. Is that cool?
Being probably the first generation of being a part of the first generation of sagging or saggers, it's kind of unique to have a different perception of it now. You know, having grown and matured into a young adult, and to see how other people view us when we carry ourselves in certain ways. Being the only African American male at my job out of 140, 150 employees, perception is extremely important. And a lot of us, unfortunately, don't have the opportunity to show how smart and gifted that we are, because we are prematurely judged based on our appearance.
You never know who you might run into, you know what I'm saying? Somebody might be looking for work or something, you know what I'm saying, might need help. You might be a good candidate. I said, he got a nice build, he got a nice frame, you know what I'm saying? He was in a hard, you know, presentable, so they gonna keep it moving, you know what I'm saying? Whole time you might be a hard, dedicated worker, but they're not gonna sit there and waste time and try to figure it out, because appearance is everything. Man.
You always have to be cognizant of what's going on around you, because you never know who's watching you. My grandfather told me a long time ago, regardless of how good or bad you're doing in life, somebody want to be just like you.
I just think it's a terrible look to, it's a bad way to present yourself in public. People are going to rightly or wrongly judge you on how you present yourself and the persona you project. And I think it can be very limiting in opportunities, because people are going to certainly interpret your look as coming with a certain attitude, maybe certain values that they might not appreciate, and that might kind of limit options you may have in the future. So I think presenting yourself in public in a little bit more neat and tidy fashion probably indicates some attitudes and tendencies that might be a little bit more accepted in broader society.
Honestly, I don't think sagging your pants is professional at all. You see, mine don't, but I just don't like how it looks from a fashion standpoint. But normally when you do sag your pants like that, it helps perpetuate a stereotype, even if that's really not you. You sag your pants, that's the first impression that people see. So,
I mean, that's my perception from what I do, and they may be the nicest, most respectful person in the world, but when I see that, thug and criminal.
I also do a lot of hiring of people, so that's one of my main jobs. And you know, if somebody comes to me looking for work, even if they're casually dressed, if they present themselves well and they are not presenting themselves, you know, as just again having that disrespect for themselves, I'm not inclined to think that they are going to have the attitude or ability to be able to be a good worker. So you know, it just reflects poorly on people's self when you know, you choose to wear something that looks in that manner.
It's definitely a no-no for me. I have 3 sons, and I definitely don't appreciate it, and I don't like to see kids in the street as well doing such.
All right, that's all. Yeah.
And a lot of times these young men who are great young men but choose to make that their style of dress end up making it themselves more vulnerable for somebody to be giving them a negative thought.
Although I think it's somebody's right to express themselves how they want to, I personally don't like it. I don't want anybody having to look at my underwear.
The younger generation must know that you don't have to do that to be cool. Being cool is having your clothes up on you, looking presentable, looking like a young man. So I just don't think that they should do it, but hey, to each his own. I just encourage them not to.
If you was trying to work here, and you came in with your pants like that, wanting a job, I wouldn't hire you. Because my customers, it might be offensive to them. I could handle it, but other people around you, you have to consider how they feel. So you could be invading other people's space because you're selfish in what you're doing.
When you get in that corporate world, you want someone who's well dressed in a way that, shirt and tie, casual wear, shoes, that type of stuff. That's something that most corporate looks for when it comes to hiring.
For you to succeed in today's society, you gotta look at what? You gotta look apart. It is what it is, So that's kind of my thing. Sagging person is just a person that's just going by the seat of their pants.
You know what I'm saying? Look, be a leader, not a follower, man. You know what I'm saying? Don't follow no trend, you know what I'm saying? Set the trends for the trendsetters, you know what I'm saying? That's what you do.
Yes, sir. I never understood it. Again, you have to walk where you barely, I see people walking down the street and barely waddling, trying to hold their pants up, and it's just crazy.
But I find that more often than not, most young men who do that are trying to fit into a type of culture or fit into a type of peer group where that is widely accepted. And this also has to deal with those in media who are portrayed on our televisions, who are portrayed on social media, who do it. They too should be held accountable and responsible for the influence that they have on our culture. So I think.
When it first came to practice in a lot of African American youth, to me it started out in the hip hop culture.
It originated from trying to be cool, trying to fit in. Everybody talks about the slavery, where it comes from slavery, where it comes from being in jail and those types of things. But most of all, I think most people just do it to try to fit in and try to be. I tell my sons and everybody, quit trying to be something that God did not make you. Develop your own culture, because people will identify you by who you are and what you wear. And so you don't let the clothes make you, you make the clothes.
Even the rappers and musicians and stuff come out and do it. So the young kids are of course going to emulate what they do versus what is possibly truth as far as where it came from and originated from. So, I'm kind of to each their own. If that's your thing, that's your thing. I find it a little disrespectful because who wants to see your boxers or whatever you're wearing under your pants? But
right, it's kind of on a rebellious. It's kind of like if that's what you're trying to make a statement. If you're trying to get attention, this is the part I don't understand. We're so busy not wanting to get attention. Mainly you youth. You don't want to get attention. You don't want us to talk to you. You don't want us to bother you, mainly police. But you do these things to get our attention. So it's going to get my attention because truthfully, we give citations. You can be arrested for indecent exposure because that's what that is. You're teetering on that gray line. So why would you want to do that? Why would you want to get that attention?
Well, when somebody sees somebody with the sag and drag, they automatically think they're a thug. They automatically think that they're less than. And so what you have to do is show them who you are. And so first impressions are very important, especially in today's society, especially being identified as who we are. You have to make sure that you know who you are. And then it's important that you just let other folk know who you are.
That culture was magnified with our students. Those guys, some rappers chose to wear that style. And again, it was just a style. Again, I think a lot of it, is self-identification, just trying to find who they are and using that as a way. But yes, they have, celebrities have put a part in the culture.
Perception is a lot of people's reality. And I can imagine what other people may see. And what I see, I always have to see as a lack of understanding and knowledge, and sometimes a lack of and disrespect of our own culture, because I don't think that's who we are and who we are meant to be. So when some other people see that, they're probably shaking their heads. They don't want to say anything. That they may think that somebody may say something back to them that's insulting, or just out of fear. And as a people and as a culture, we have to get the message out to other people of our ethnicity and our race to pull your pants down.
Identify yourself by what you wear and what you do, but it's what's on the inside, really. But folks can't see the inside. All they see is the outside, so they're gonna go on what they see.
At some point, the white man is not responsible for me still being 40 years old on my mom's couch. At some point, why a lot of people don't like W.E.B. Du Bois, but I love him, is because he requires that we hold ourselves to a standard in which that even if we have to fight the powers that be, let's not make it as though we should not have morals within our own community. So if we're going to build our own businesses, then we also need to have a standard for how we dress. We need to have a standard for how we talk. We need to have a standard for how we are able to articulate ourselves. If we expect money to come into our communities, if we expect money to come into our businesses, if we expect money to come into our churches and things of that nature, then we have to be able to look presentable. Even if we were to do that, let's say right now in this room we were able to build our own community with millions of dollars, I'm still not going to hire you if you are sagging, not necessarily because of the systemic racism and culture that presents, but because that is still a problem that in its origin and the theoretical origins in which you discuss still have that in a negative light. So I agree with you, yes, that we do see these things, and these things definitely do keep us back, but at what point is the black man responsible for his own condition, or at what point is the black woman responsible? I don't want to seem as if, just emphasizing patriarchy, but at what point do we as a people say, you know what, while we do have issues with the powers that be, we also have to make sure that we don't have the crab in the barrel mentality, where when we are trying to come up, we're trying to pull each other down. And Jay-Z said it best, why are crabs even in the barrel? You see what I'm saying? So if we're all in this thing together, if we're really trying to come up, then I should be able to look at my fellow black brother and say, now look, not because we're trying to please massa, but because we're trying to look like somebody, pull your pants
You see that, you think that, that they not smart, that they don't care as much about themselves, they don't take pride in who they are. And so there is a impression that comes with it, that, they sag and they lazy, they from a certain part of town, they act a certain way. It's just like with the Tuesday ties. When you look good, you dress up, you feel good, you move in a different manner, you walk in a different way. When you sagging, that's exactly what people think, that your life sagging, your life dragging, that you down, you looking down, so that's what they see, They even, some people even associated with, homelessness, that, they ain't got enough sense, they ain't got enough background. It's just not you. They look at that, well, why would their parents let them, come out like that? Is that, so they have a perception. That's what develops the whole culture, is when people see people sagging and dragging, they put it all into one thing, and everybody like that, or everybody like that. And you may be the smartest guy in the group. You may be the next lawyer, doctor, but I don't know that.
As an educator, I had to do my research. And the question I always asked, why are kids sagging their pants? Because we have to tell them to pull them up. And as an educator, we put rules and policies in place to make sure that they don't do those things.
We still, as a people, are battling the mental effects of slavery, and how that is simply an expression of the fact that we've not been able to shake off the issues and the setbacks that slavery did put us in as a people, not only economically, but then also mentally. So we still, to this day, find a lot of our people operating in a slave mentality, where so not simply in how they spend their money, not simply in how they do business, but also how they feel about themselves interpersonally, which is the third level of racism. So after systematic and structural, you have interpersonal racism, which is how you treat your fellow man, but then fourthly, how you treat yourself internally. So it shows how the black man or even the black woman feels about his or herself, given the fact that they cannot fight off a stigma. Now, even if we cannot necessarily say that this issue is isolated to our own community, whether or not we have people of the white community doing it or people in the black community doing it, the fact is that's still wrong regardless of race, regardless of the origin. The theories of the origins of sagging all still have a negative connotation. If we stick with the origin from the prison theory, and a lot of people who do sag who claim not to be homosexual, well, if this is one of the theoretical origins of sagging, that it means that you are that you belong to someone in prison, then you're sending a mixed signal. But then also, if we're going to stick to the theoretical origin that it stems out of slavery, well, it shows that you're still a prisoner. And so we have to try to show how radical we are against the system, but in a way that's still respectable.
Being probably the first generation, being a part of the first generation of sagging or saggers, it's kind of unique to have a different perception of it now. You know, having grown and matured into a young adult, and to see how other people view us when we carry ourselves in certain ways. Being the only African American male at my job out of 140, 150 employees, perception is extremely important. And a lot of us, unfortunately, don't have the opportunity to show how smart and gifted that we are, because we are prematurely judged based on our appearance. So sagging portrays the image that you don't care about yourself, that you lack respect for yourself. And I find it quite funny to see somebody who has to change the way that they walk just to keep their pants up. And he looks silly. He looks silly. Literally walking like a duck so that your pants won't fall down is, to me, is ridiculous. I don't judge anybody for doing it. At the same time, I always try to let them know that while I might not judge you, somebody else might. And if that's not the image that you want people to have of you, then don't put the image out there.
Is when I'm going into another man's territory, I'm not necessarily going in there to make a statement, because if I'm trying to feed my family, I should be more concerned about feeding my family than trying to prove that I can be black in your environment. Now, what do I mean by that? If the job requires that I wear a suit and tie so that I can put food in my wife's mouth and in my children's mouth, then I'll wear the suit and tie. That's not saying that I have to conform as much as it is knowing my context. I can't wear I'm not gonna wear a suit to the swimming pool because the context requires trunks. I'm not going to wear certain things out of its context because I know that at some point, at some time, it's gonna reflect back on what I'm trying to do back home. So I think that we as a people have to be very careful that we don't always have to try to make a statement. You can be authentically wearing traditional clothes does not mean or make me any more black than when I wear my suit and tie. Yep. It just doesn't. What makes me black, aside from the color, is the fact that I'm able to put food on the table for my family at the end of the day, whether I'm doing that in my dashiki or if I just have to wear the 3-piece spin tray.
Who said it's okay normal to wear a suit and tie? That's okay. If you have a traditional tie, you have the Indians, you have Asians that have their own traditional tie. It doesn't matter about the clothes that you wear, it's how you carry yourself. And as a community as a whole, as a black community, and if you look at foreign places, all them family is all about the family. You take care of your family, you take care of yourself, it doesn't matter about your skin. So why is it okay to wear a suit and tie but not okay for you to wear a traditional tie that describes where you are, where you come from? That's you.
I'm not
nothing wrong with that.
But
you said it's a problem, right? I got
no, I'm not
so they tie to be okay. It doesn't matter because that's me.
Here's what I want to add clarity to that. Right.
So be happy.
And I want to add clarity to that because the thing is, as true as what you said is, I'm not saying that we got to play into a stereotype. No, I'm not saying that we have to conform to a culture. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, if at the end of the day, if it means that I've got to wear a suit and tie so that I can put my children through college, then I will wear the dashiki on Saturday, but Monday through Friday from 9 to 5, I'm wearing my suit and tie because that boy, that girl has to eat.
When any of you go to a place and eat, if the manager was sagging, the person cooking your food was sagging, the person coming around with your food was sagging.
What does sagging have to do with anything with my food? Because, for example, I'm from Charlotte, and we have these restaurants called, and some of them is family ran, and so a lot of them have young kids that's in a family who are young boys who sag and are back there cooking. I'm just trying to understand what does, like I said, I'm against sagging and stuff, but sagging would not make me not want to get my food, especially when I know it's going to be good, regardless of that person is sagging.
It starts from home. So like what you were saying, so what you see in your house is what they're gonna bring outside. Like different other countries when you grew up, like when you see your household and you go to school, some school systems are really strict. They really want you to wear a uniform with badge and not anything. If you misbehave, you're gonna go back home. Right. So but when you come here in a different country in the US, it's like people have freedom to do this, to do that. It's like not so strict as they would be strict, like how you're supposed to dress and carry yourself and how you're supposed to carry your family name. So like what you were saying about the restaurant, that's something in their culture, that's what they see, but that's not something right for them to do.
I don't think that the question has to deal necessarily with if the food will taste better or taste worse. I think that it's a matter of presentation. And Dr. Jenkins and our president here at Livingstone College says this all the time, that perception is 90% of the game. So I think that the heart of the question is the way in which things are presented to you at this restaurant. How would you feel if the person serving you this food that's still gonna be smack, it's still gonna be good, but the overall quality of that restaurant, how do you think about the owners? How do you think about what they see in employees? How do you think about just what they look for in people to lead and to, present the image of that business? But if we've been walking from table 5 to table 6 to table 7, serving the hamburgers, trying to figure out what people's order is, but when we turn around, they see our behind, that's an issue if I got my 97-year-old grandmama here and I got my wife and children. I don't want them to see that. It's not necessarily saying that the food is gonna taste bad. It's not even necessarily saying that the health of the restaurant is bad. It's about presentation.
We've also heard that people, once they left the penitentiary, they never gave up that style, so when they came back home, that's when they started sagging. So why do you think people that have never been in the penitentiary, why would they want to sag their pants?
Crazy. I have no idea. But to me, it is the dumbest thing in the world, and it just looks disgusting. I hate walking around seeing people's underwear. I don't get it. I totally don't get it. And then if I'm a young man, definitely wouldn't want to do that knowing how it started. So you probably could tell some of these people that now, they probably wouldn't care.
As long as you're living, there's going to be opportunity. You're going to grow and get older. And there are going to be opportunities out there when you get into the workforce, or you're trying to apply for admission to a school, or you want to get into the military. And if you look at all those types of arenas of success, there's certain things that these people in these presidents, CEOs, commanders will not tolerate. And that's part of the culture of who we are as Americans. And it's a part of the culture that we need to change in the African American community, and also other cultures that feel like sagging is okay or is cool. My advice to you is do your history. My advice to you is abide by the expectations in the school. My advice to you is look at some of the dress code policies in the workforce and apply them to your lives. And if you apply them to your life, then you can apply them in your school, you can apply them when you go out to other arenas or conferences or concerts or things, ball games, things of that nature. and it will change. Hopefully it can change and touch your heart so you can change your whole lifestyle and pull your pants up. Costs $5 to come in here.
All right. I got
You come in here, it costs $5. You can't come in here unless you got $5. $250. That ain't gonna do it. How you doing, Pastor? That's that young man right there. You doing all right, brother? Good to see you, man. How you doing, bro? Yeah, you gonna charge me? Yeah. You that big time? No, that big time. Oh, wow. I've been a barber for 25 years now. Started in 1994. You was trying to work here. You came in with your pants like that, wanting a job, I wouldn't hire you. Because my customers, it might be offensive to them. I could handle it, but other people around you, you have to consider how they feel. So you could be invading other people's space because you're selfish in what you're doing.
When the young men would sag, they would let the other men know that they were ready to have sex with them. Let them know. That's what it was all about. And what happened was a lot of the outside world picked up on that style of sagging. And so what they did was to make money, started a new trend, a new style, but a lot of folks didn't even know what it was all about. But it looked good on these guys that was out there making money. And so most of the time, we followed the trends of society without knowing what we were doing. And that's where that came from. Now, sagging itself, it's not very good look. For one thing, you're showing your body, showing too much of your body part. And when you're doing that, that's really not a good look, as I say. If you run into any of the hard time convicts, they don't even like to be called prisoners anymore. They don't like to be called inmates. They're convicts because they're hard time. They would tell you, if they see you like that, that means that you're ready for them. That means that's what you want.
You go to college, you graduate from college, you're going for an interview, and they say, well, the only way you're gonna get this job is you gotta cut the hair off your face. You gotta wear a suit and a tie. And you go in there, hair on your face, with jeans and sneakers on, you think you're gonna get the job? So I think your personality, how you carry yourself has a lot to do with your success in looking at you. You might not think they're looking at you. And another thing, what if your mom and dad was walking around with their britches hanging down? What would you think? You'd be like, well, dang, my mom and dad don't even have a lot of respect.
But that's the image you're putting right now. And if you don't change that image right now, with your children that sees you like that and the way you dress them now, or you got these little kids or young people, not kids, got little young people dressing that way now, that's the only way they're gonna know to dress. You need to dress for success. How many of you know the tie-ties? Have they showed y'all yet? The boys come through, men come through with that yet?
Yeah, tie Tuesday yesterday.
Okay. How many of you know how to tie? You?
I do know.
There's something very great to know.
You know how to tie a tie?
Yes, sir.
You know how to tie a tie? You?
You need to learn. You need to learn because you see how your sister, look at you dressing with success. When you walk through the door, he draws attention. So when he walked through the door, he draws attention because he was looking professional. We wanted to see where he was from, what was he doing, why is he there, the way that you dress. Not so much what you say and how you speak, but sometimes the way that you dress can put you over the line of getting a job.
I'll tell you something my dad told me when I was a little boy. And it stuck with me to this day. He said, son, I don't care what you be when you grow up. You can be a garbage man. Be the best.
Be the best.
Whatever you be, everybody can't be a doctor, a lawyer, everybody can't be an athlete, everybody can. But whatever you can be
the best.
Be the best.
So to be the best, you got to carry yourself as the best, right? That's what's important.
Like Mr. White said, I went to North Rowan myself, played football. He didn't go. That's what happened to him. He didn't go to North Rowan. I went to North Rowan, played football. Matter of fact, I went to college and played football on scholarship to Knoxville College. I came back. I started working for the prison. Yeah, I worked for the prison. I worked for the prison system for 35 years, 6 months. I held every rank on the custody side, from correctional officer to warden. But during that time, I learned a lot of things. I've seen a lot of people. And that's where sagging comes from. Mr. Bates over here, he worked for the prison for a while. He can tell you, when you were in prison, that was a way for other men to know 3 things. Either you were gay, you wanted to be gay, or you were somebody's girl. You hang your pants down low, and you had your underwear on backwards. And you know why your underwear was on backwards?
I already know.
It was easy access.
Appreciate it, man.
People, run around the corner, jumping up under the stairway, even where they could, bend you over. So that's why, I see people now walking around their pants hanging down. I wonder, you had your pants, do you think, would you want somebody to want? I'm not saying gay is wrong, I'm not knocking that. But what I am saying, don't idolize things that's not. If you want to idolize something, idolize somebody that's doing something.
Yeah, what's up with it, bro? This is Dooney, the street priest. Look here, this is a nationwide dance from my hood to your hood called Pull Your Pants Up. Hey, pull your pants up. Hey, pull your pants up. Pull your pants up, man. Pull your pants up. Pull your pants up. Hey, pull your pants up. Pull your pants up, man. Pull your pants up. I'm the street priest. I'm not here to judge. This a letter to the streets talking to my thugs. From your bows and monkey jeans to what you wanna wear. I'm just saying, man, I'm sick of seeing your underwear. I think I speak on behalf of the community. You look suspect, jail is where you soon to be. Behind bars, it's a code for the N-word. The word sagging spelled backwards is the N-word. You walk the streets with your pants way down low. I don't know, looks to me you on the down low. Some of y'all think it's gangster to show you back. On behalf of real men, we ain't feeling that. We don't understand, man, cause it shocks us. Can you make us understand why you show your box up? If you stand up straight, bet your pants fall. Might as well walk around with your pants off. Pull them up, yeah. Be a real man, stand up. Is that your underwear, man? Pull your pants up. I'm a grown man on my grind trying to shine. How you gon' grind when your mind showing your behind? I think it's rude, but some of y'all think it's cool. Walking around showing your behind the other dudes. It looks retarded, degenerating real hard. Yeah, you're hard, but now it's hard to get a real job. What's up with it, bro? I'm just trying to let you know. Put a belt around your waist before your pants hit the floor. If you 20 and above, and you still sad, man, you grown and you wrong. You should feel bad. Disgrace to your race. Where your pride at? Come on, man, pull up your pants and get your pride back. I'm not saying don't show your swag with your bag of jeans. I'm just saying don't show your